Hello, how are you? Good morning. My name is Gabriela Fernandez. I'm a University of St. Augustine occupational therapy student. I'm going to be interviewing you, and we're going to go through this protocol called SAFER.
Mhm.
I just want to check how everything's going at home, and we're just going to kind of go through it, okay?
Okay.
How's Lucas been since we last met?
Good, very well.
Good? Any changes? Great. So, what this assessment consists of is I'm going to ask you on a scale of 1 to 5 how your satisfaction is with certain activities. 1 is not satisfied at all, and 5 is very satisfied, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So then it's going to just be a set of questions. First question is, when you're waking up, what's it like when you wake up?
Well, he normally wakes up and he goes around the bed. He cries sometimes and fusses, but it's okay. I'm here to pick him up.
Where does your child usually sleep?
Um, Normally he has his own crib, but he's sleeping between me and the dad.
Um, is it usually at a good time of day when you wake him up, or is it always different?
No, I always kind of wake him up like at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I understand. Um, how satisfied are you in terms of how he wakes up?
I could say a 4.
A 4? Okay. So we're gonna move on to the diapering and dressing. How's his dressing like?
Well, he's 2, so I'm trying to get him into potty train. So that's been a little difficult, but
It's been difficult.
it's a little hard. I'm still using the Pampers.
Oh, what's his mood like usually when you have to go
He's
through
so
the
cranky
dressing?
in the morning. It's horrible. All he does is cry, and I'm telling him, he doesn't have such speech, nonverbal. So it's hard for him to actually communicate with me, telling me I need to use the bathroom or I need to go to number 2. So he just cries and then he does it on himself, and I have to run to him and get him fixed and stuff.
I see how that can be a challenge. Uh, when your child does use the toilet, is it completely by himself, or do you really have to be on top of
I
him
have
to
to
get
be
it?
on top of him.
I see.
Yeah.
How satisfied are you with in general in terms of his a 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very unsatisfied.
Now we're gonna move on to feeding. What are feeding times like for Lucas?
Well, feeding times, I feed him. He's so messy. He doesn't like to be messy. I'm sorry, and he is very hard eater. He's very picky. He doesn't eat everything, so I have to make just a special meal just for him.
Where does he usually eat when it's mealtime?
And the dinner table, actually.
Okay, on the chair or on a special chair?
On his chair, yeah, on a special
Okay.
child chair.
Does he let you know when he's finished, or
No, he just throws a tantrum. He just screams and
Okay.
goes all over the place.
Sorry to hear that. On a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with this
The
whole?
feeding is just troubling. I could say a 2.
Okay. Now we're gonna move on to community care. Here I'm gonna ask you what it's like when Lucas eats with others.
Well, since I'm a stay-at-home mom, my husband works, and I do take care of my other younger child. So he just has me.
Okay, so he never has a nanny, just you?
No, just me.
All right. But if he is under the care of someone else, let's say a neighbor or
It's
mom.
horrible. I could say I'm very unsatisfied because, that's why I don't leave him with anyone. Because if I leave him with my neighbor for a minute, he gets big tantrums. We're taking him into a different location environment. He just goes crazy.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
So I try not to leave him with anyone. That's why I'm not working.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 5, you would rate that as a
Unsatisfied. Very.
Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the item of home and getting ready to go out. How do things usually go when you have to go somewhere with Lucas?
Well, Lucas takes a while to actually get him dressed and actually get him going into a car, and buckle up your seatbelt and so on. And once we get to a party, it's not like my other child. We would get there and we could socialize with relatives or friends. No, he just throws tantrums and times, so I have to have him on top of me all the time. And then he just screams, and we just have to leave early. We can never socialize.
I'm sorry about that.
We
That's rough.
try not to go out much with him.
Okay. How much can he do on his own in terms of getting ready?
Not much. He can kind of put on a shirt, but I'm there 24/7 for him.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of going out and getting ready with him.
Not satisfied.
Not satisfied,
No.
so
1.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the item of community care. So when you do drop off and pick up your child, let's say at a daycare, what's it like, and do those people give you any feedback in terms of
But
what's
he
happening?
just throws tantrums, cries, and he doesn't like to eat. So sometimes I have to bring him food in order for him to eat because I'm scared he's gonna, not gonna eat their food, and it worries me as a mother. So I would say he is a one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what times do you usually pick him up and drop him off from daycare,
Well,
if you ever do?
if I ever do, it will be like drop off, let's say early in the morning, and then I'll pick him up before noon.
Okay. Uh, we're moving on to
Mhm.
hanging out and watching television, kind of leisurely time with the family. What does your family do when it's time to relax?
We just hang out mostly in the house. We play video games. Kids love that. I didn't go seek. It's hard because Luca doesn't know how to share. And when, let's say, we'll play like it's your turn to play on the iPad, and now it's his brother's turn. We take the iPad away from him, and it's like a big tantrum. So like we want to involve him as much as we can in the family, but it's just so difficult.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I could give that
Is
a
there
one.
anything you would give that a one? If there's anything that you could do in the evening but you can't, what would it be?
That I could do in the evening.
Yeah, is there anything that you would do in that afternoon when you're off?
Oh, I would definitely clean up the house. It's just a mess.
Yeah, okay. And you said it would be a one?
One.
Okay. So we're moving on to the item of bath time. What is bath time like for Lucas?
Oh, actually, bath time is more pleasant. He
Okay.
does like the bathtub when I put the rubber duckies.
Okay.
He's like entertained. I do have like this super cool water case iPad. He's very into the iPad, so I kind of stick it like on the
Wall.
wall of the bathroom, and
Okay.
like he can like play games. But yeah,
Okay.
So
Is that
probably
his
like
favorite toy?
it is. He's always on it.
Does he kick and splash in the water?
Yes, when he's excited, when he's playing a video game or something, and he's excited, he doesn't know how to verbally say it, so he just flaps his arms or he'll point to something.
Is there any other toy that he likes to play in the bathtub besides the iPad?
Sometimes I put like little, little toys, figurines, but he doesn't do like 1 or 2 seconds, and then he'll like let it go.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with his bath time?
3.
3? Okay. We're gonna move on to nap time in the house. How does putting him to bed usually go? How does that look like for you?
It's not that bad. I sometimes put him to bed, and then he'll like wake up in the middle, so I try to like rock him in the rocking chair. So I could say that's like a 3.
That's a 3? Does he usually sleep all throughout the night, or does he get up at some point?
He gets up.
He gets up. So in general, when looking at Lucas's sleep, what is it on a scale of 1 to 5?
A 3.
A 3? Okay. When he takes naps with others, under the care of others, does he, and is it comfortable for him?
No, he with other people he barely takes a nap. He doesn't even put up his eye down. He's always alert.
Okay. Well, so on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of under the care.
No, just a 1. I would
The
say.
1? Alrighty. Sorry to hear that. It goes so rough with other caregivers. Now we're gonna take a trip to the grocery store.
Oh boy.
How is it going to the grocery store?
It's crazy. It's very hectic. I try not to even go out with him because he'll say he'll like something, he won't let it go, and I'm telling him like, no, we can't buy it today. Let's buy it tomorrow. Let's go. And he just throws tantrums, and then people look at you, and like it's so embarrassing.
I'm sorry. That must be really rough on you.
It is.
But hopefully it'll get better.
I hope so.
Does he usually sit in the cart or in the shopping cart?
Yes, he does. I have like this little throw over blanket, so I have him sitting there. But he's like very impatient, and like the only time he's quiet, I just hand him the iPad, and he's just like looks into the iPad and he stops.
That's a good tactic. So in general, when he's at the grocery store, does he kind of try to communicate with you in any way?
No.
Nothing. No.
He's a 2 probably. Because sometimes he will point, but that's all he'll do.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, in terms of how satisfied you are, how would you? A 2? Okay. Now we're gonna go over what it's like to be outdoors with Lucas. How much time does your family spend outdoors?
We try to take him to parks, mostly on the weekends, on church on Sunday if we could.
Mhm.
And then throughout the day, I have like a backyard and a swing, so I try to put him on the swing. He kind of loves that, and so on. I'll just be in the backyard.
He just
Yeah.
likes being in the backyard.
Yeah.
What does he usually do when he's outside?
He actually plays alone in
Okay.
the sandbox. He doesn't really like to play with his older brother. Sorry,
Okay.
Mateos, which is 5 years old. He doesn't like to like socialize with him
Oh.
for some reason. I don't know. He just plays by himself, and
And how does he get around?
he walks around.
He
Fine.
just walks around, no running, sprinting.
Yes, he sometimes runs a lot. It's hard for me to catch him sometimes.
Do you ever play with him in the backyard?
We do. We all three of us play when I'm home. All three of us we go outside and we play hide and go seek. But he doesn't really socialize with like I'll tell him to let's do this, and he just wouldn't want to.
So going off of that, how does he let you know when he wants to do something different?
He doesn't.
He
He
doesn't.
just points, and then I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to tell me, but I can't. It's
see.
really hard to understand him.
I'm sorry. That seems really hard. If when he is outside, does he usually enjoy it?
Yes, he does like it, but when he's alone, he doesn't like to share. He doesn't like to socialize with his brother, or let's say have a neighbor that comes over and plays with us at the swing, and he doesn't nothing to do with it.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with
I
outdoors?
could say he's like more or less like a 2.5, 3.
2 or 3?
I would say a 2 because he does actually go. But
Okay. Last question, promise. In terms of community care, when he is outside, what's it like when he's outside, in the community, let's say at the park?
like I said, it's really hard for me to actually take him to a park. But when me and my husband do take him on the weekends, at least we're two of us. So I will go with the other child, and he will go with Lucas, or we'll switch parts. But it's very hard to actually come together as a family and do one big activity.
And how's it like when he interacts with his peers, if it happens?
He doesn't.
Okay.
He just likes to be alone.
So in terms of taking him out into the community on a scale of 1 to 5?
A 2. I would
A
like
2?
to improve that. Yeah.
Okay. It appears that we've fulfilled the whole item, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for stopping
you.
by, and we'll work on this, okay?
All right. Thank you.
you.